We're going to make a brine for our chicken wings. What is a brine? A brine is a very concentrated salt solution that we are going to soak our protein in our case, our chicken wings. It's going to impart lots of moisture and flavor to our protein so that when we cook them, they don't dry out and they taste great all the way through. You can make a brine out of almost anything. Usually you want to make sure that it is very, very salty, and you can balance it out with sugar. You can add some flavorings, and we'll talk about that in a second. But you want to brine things for at least 30 minutes, depending on the protein. Something like a Thanksgiving turkey, you can brine for a couple days. For wings, we only need to do it for about an hour, 2 hours. We always try to brine pork and poultry. We don't usually brine beef because it has a lot of natural fat in it already, and so it's going to taste great on its own. So we're going to start with our salt. We like to use kosher salt. It's the purest form of salt. We're going to add that. It seems like a lot, but we are making a brine. It's supposed to be salty. Then we're going to balance that out with some brown sugar. You can use any kind of sugar just to balance out that salt, but brown sugar has a little bit of molasses in it, which is going to help when we grill our wings, because those sugars are going to caramelize on the grill and cause the skin to get nice and crispy. We're going to add some other flavoring components. Just a couple cloves of garlic that I'm just going to smash with the heel of my hand. And we're going to throw in a piece of a shallot, just cuz. We're going to throw in some ancho chili powder. You can throw in any sort of chili powder you want, chipotle chili powder, smoked paprika, anything that you want to give it a little kick and a little depth of flavor. And I like to use a little bit of adobo sauce. This is from the can of chipotle peppers. It's got some vinegar in it and you know, that smoky flavor that we get from smoking jalapenos. Now we're going to add our beer. You can use water in any sort of brine, but for this one we're using beer. It could be any sort of liquid. We're going to add beer, just what we had on hands, whatever you like. We're using two different kinds because that's what we have on hand. And I try to stay away from the really, really dark beers, but that is up to you. So now I'm going to whisk these all together. We really want to make sure that we've dissolved the brown sugar and salt. A lot of times when we brine chicken and other poultry, we bring the liquid up to a boil to help that dissolving process. With this, we're not really doing it, but when you boil your liquid for your brine, you always want to make sure you cool it completely. We like to add a whole bunch of ice. You want to drop it below 37 degrees or else you'll actually start to cook your protein. Now I'm going to add a little bit of hot sauce. I know we have some chipotle in there, but this is up to you. You could add anything here. You could add some herbs, you could add some more onion, some celery, some carrots, any of that sort of aromatics. I'm going to add a little touch of liquid smoke. Those of you who know me know it's one of my favorite ingredients. And then I'm going to whisk it all around. And then I'm going to pour them over my wings. So our chicken wings, we have both drums and flats. We love them because they are inexpensive and they're fun to eat. So I'm going to pour this over. Do my best to make sure they are very well submerged. If they're not totally submerged, you can always add a little bit of cool water to this. And we're going to let these marinate for a couple of hours. Any amount of time is going to help. And then after that, we're going to take them out, we're going to dry them off. We're actually going to bake them almost all the way through, and then we're going to finish them off on the grill. Okay, so our wings have brined for a couple of hours, and now we're going to get ready to cook them. Traditionally, wings are deep fried. A lot of oil. I don't like to do that a lot at home. So what I like to do for wings, especially during football season and tailgate season, is I like to bake them and then finish them off on the grill. So we're going to bake them on a sheet tray. I gave myself a little help with cleanup by lining my pan with aluminum foil, and then I have a cooling rack or wire rack that's going to keep them up off the bottom of the tray. That's going to allow air to circulate all around them, and it's going to make them cook a lot quicker, and it's going to make sure that we don't have a dry or a crispy side and a soggy side. So I'm gonna take these, I'm gonna try and get as much of the brine off as I can. I'm gonna line them up on the pan, and then I'm going to put them into a 350, 375 degree oven for about 30 minutes or until they're probably 95% of the way cooked. This will always depend on the size of your wings, but just know that we're going to continue cooking them and finishing the cooking process on the grill. Okay, our wings have come out of the oven, and as you can see, they look beautiful. They are brown on the outside. Part of that has to do with the sugar that's in the brine. They're about 95% of the way cooked. At this point, I would usually package them up and take them to my tailgating location, and then at the last minute, just before I ate them, I would throw them on a really nice hot grill that's going to char up the outsides, crisp up the skin, and you will never ever miss the fry. But my grill is nice and hot and ready for me. I'm going to throw my wings right on top of the grill. We don't have to cook them for very long because they're mostly already cooked. Just giving them a kiss on the grill, get nice grill marks, nice crispy skin, and they'll be ready to dunk in our homemade ranch dressing. The problem usually with grilling chicken is grilling is a high heat cooking method normally, so we end up charring the outside and not getting our chicken all the way cooked on the inside. So this way is a two-step cooking process. We've cooked it most of the way in the oven, and then we just finish it on the grill. Other times we start things off and give them a nice kiss on the grill, and we finish them in the oven, whichever way you want to do it. But for the wings, I like to start them in the oven, finish them on the grill. Just make sure that before you eat them, they have reached 165 degrees.